Today we will discuss the question of who really invented the Pythagoras Theorem. First, we need to explain what is the Pythagoras Theorem. The Pythagoras Theorem states that the sum of the squares of the lengths of the two sides of any right triangle will equal the square of the length of the hypotenuse. This means a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared being one of the sides of the triangle, b squared being the other side, and c squared being the hypotenuse. This relation had already been noted in other ancient civilizations, even though Pythagoras was the one that was attributed the theorem to, and we will talk about those civilizations in this video.
Ancient clay tables found from the Babylonians suggest that in the second millennium before Christ, they understood that there was a relationship between the sides of a right triangle and in solving for the hypotenuse of an isosceles right triangle. They came up with an approximation of root of 2 accurate to 5 decimal places. They needed to do this because of the lengths would represent a multiple of the formula. 1 squared plus 1 squared equals root of 2 squared.
Pythagoras, who was an Indian mathematician, developed a similar theory to the one of Pythagoras. This theory was implemented especially by the sculptors, who were the people in charge of making the altars used for religious purposes. Pythagoras began with a right triangle, and then he drew an altitude on the hypotenuse. From here, he used the properties of similarity to prove the theorem. Now prove that triangles ABC and CBA are similar. It follows from the AAA posture to the triangle ABC is similar to triangle CVE. Since angle V is congruent to angle V and angle C is congruent to angle E. Thus, since internal ratios are equal to C over A equals A over C. Multiplying both sides by AC, we get SC equals A to the power of 2. Now show that triangles ABC and ACE are similar. As before, it shows from the AAA postulate that these triangles are similar. Angle A is congruent to angle A and angle C is congruent to angle E. Thus, R over B is equal to V over Z. Multiplying both sides by VC, we get RC equals V to this B squared. Now when we add the two results, we get SC plus RC equals A squared plus B squared. C parenthesis C plus R parenthesis equals A squared plus 2B squared. C squared equals A squared plus B squared, concluding the proof that the Pythagorean theorem.
Concluding that Pythagoras theorem was not created by Pythagoras, its origin goes back to different civilizations which were from different continents, eras, etc. Thus, Pythagoras was the person who got the theory under his name, but other people also discovered a similar theorem to the ones by Pythagoras.